All right, this is me, Emperor Lou. Let me give a quick shout out to my man here. I'm responding to district district. It's like my bad. I mean, I'm responding to him. So he responded to Young Melly situation, YNWMelly situation. Also, I'm a Melly fan. I mean, not a fanboy, but you know, I rock his music too. Like Kodak Black and all those guys, I rock his music, man. My three best music is Blue Basilago, Selena Iron, and the best one, Versatile. That's like 11 minutes long. Versatile, and also too, he has some hidden measures that might cause him get, he can't snitch on himself. Let's go ahead, play this.
State will be finding out whether or not YNWMelly will be getting sentenced to life in prison. But with this new evidence that I will be sharing in this video, it does not look good for YNWMelly. We need to talk about this, so let's get straight into it.
Yep.
YNWMelly's trial is set to start on March 7th in 2022. This will be the biggest rapper-related court case that we have had in a long time. Prosecutors believe they've gathered enough evidence for the trial to start after a long 2 years. In the latest court hearing, prosecutors requested the Broward County judge to force YNWMelly to provide his DNA. This is in order to help solve the case, as they also asked for all of YNWMelly's body measurements as well. This means that they want the length of his arms, his legs, even his body weight to create a model of YNWMelly's body so they can recreate the scene of what they believe happened. Now in the court documents, it states that in the vehicle where YNWMelly allegedly did the act towards two individuals, there was evidence left behind being a yellow jacket. This yellow jacket was analyzed by the Broward County Sheriff's Office's crime lab, and then a report was issued. Dated on September 2nd in 2021, the report indicates that Anthony Williams, aka YNW Sack Chaser, DNA was a part of the sample and that there were 3 other potential contributors. The contributor profiles are not eligible to be entered at this moment. The prosecutors want to prove that YNWMelly is guilty in this case by using a DNA test, which in the court of law is very hard evidence to beat. So once this was brought up in court, YNWMelly was seen exiting the court looking very concerned. That's when this updated mugshot was then released of the rapper, who looks defeated. New evidence photos were released in the latest court hearing as well. In this photo, this is actually where everyone was sitting inside of the Jeep when the so-called drive-by occurred. This explains why prosecutors want YNWMelly's body measurements due to him sitting in the back seat of the driver.
All right. The reason why they wanted his body measurement, because they want the ballistics, the measurement of the ballistics. Ballistics mean they're measuring the bullet holes, the angle it came from, whatever. Remember, because his boy here on the left, who's the driver, his boy in the front, the driver, he say they get hit by a drive-by, but it wasn't drive-by, it was internal. I mean, all the shots were fired from internal. Me personally, yeah, Melly is a hitter. He's a hitter. Unfortunately, he's a hitter, but he hit his own boys, man, over some little petty beef. I mean, allegedly, from what we all understood, from what I heard, understood that it came from your boy YNW Chaser had disrespected his mom or stole from his mom. So that's the reason why he had a grudge and had to take him out. You know what I mean? I guess a violation of the code amongst the brotherhood. But let's go ahead.
Side. YNW Juvie and YNW Sack Chaser, which are the two that sadly passed, are the two men sitting on the right side of the vehicle. Now in the second official document, it states, and I quote, "Then also, we have a video of Mr. Demons admitting to doing an act towards two individuals in the head." Now I had to change a few of the words in that statement, but you understand what I'm trying to say. This is the piece of evidence that I'm very worried about, as there is a video of Melly talking about this incident on a video. And in that same video, he admits to doing it. So in the next court document, it states this. This video was on Mr. Demon's cell phone, which was brought to my office by Jameson Francis. And that is how we had that, and that was all of the evidence that you're...
If you notice, right, ironically, his last name is Demons. You know, I don't know if that's some sort of conspiracy, whatever. You tell me at the end. Leave me a comment, man. That's, to me, that's kind of dots, put the dots that being unconnected. Even his last name is Demons. Come on.
Honor has. So this is where it gets interesting. First off, Mr. Demons in these documents is YNWMelly. Strangely enough, that's his last name. And in case you didn't know who Jameson Francis is, this is YNWMelly's manager, known as 100K Management. Jameson is a manager for tons of rappers such as King Von, YNWMelly, and many others in the industry. So it turns out that he was the man holding YNWMelly's cell phones during the entire time he was in jail. That was until law enforcement put out a warrant for the cell phone, so if he never turned it in, he would have been arrested for tampering with evidence. Now allegedly...
Is music your life? Make it your career at the Los Angeles Recording School. Learn to produce your own.
Law enforcement can do something called a data extract. This means that they can pull everything that was ever on a certain cell phone. This means that deleted text messages, deleted photos, even Snapchats will be brought back.
All right, let me just jump in quick. That's right, anything, even your emails, cell phone, email, text, whatever, they have more like an encrypted address, you know? Address, it doesn't mean like physical address. Also mean like a timeline, a time frame address. Because I also have friends who's in the law enforcement fields. I mean, I have associates. I mean, and some of them help me out of my situation. I mean, I was in some situations. My lawyers also helped me too. I mean, I was in some situation in my short time ago. But timeline and time frame address, right? Always they have it. Even going back to the NSA, all right? The NSA, National Security Administration, NSA, even up to Edward Snowden, who snitched on the American government. Yes, they can track back your time frame.
And law enforcement will now be able to use that evidence against YNWMelly in court. Now that is very concerning, as the next court document states that the cell phone evidence is probably the biggest part of the court case, which I definitely have to agree with the alleged video of Melly admitting to doing it, as well as text messages that Melly sent to his girlfriend at the time this all went down. Now the next court document also stated this, and I quote, "These particular cell phones, which were both iPhone 10s, were on the T-Mobile network." And so T-Mobile has a very interesting feature where it will tell you the environment that this cell phone is in. So from these cell phone records, I could tell you the exact moment Demons got out of the car and staged the drive-by location. So this is huge evidence as well. And why this is so big is because YNWMelly took 40 minutes to get Juvie and Sack Chaser medical attention after the so-called drive-by occurred. So with law enforcement now having a tool where they can go back in time, use YNWMelly's cell phone that was in his pocket as a GPS tracking device, they'll be able to track all of YNWMelly's movements the moment everything went down. So they can actually follow if they pulled their vehicle into a side parking lot to stage the drive-by. So after hearing all of that evidence, make sure you listen to the timeline that the courtroom laid out about the...
Hold on. You just now, right, as earlier, timeline, that's it. You know what I mean? Because I'm watching this for the first time like you guys. This right here. Timeline. I told you, time frame, timeline, address. And also, cell phones is used as a GPS. I'm telling you. Cell phone is like pretty much a tracking device, GPS. like Melly, like I say, one, I don't know. I'm 50-50 on this. I don't know if he should just off his boys, because this boys, man, they grow up together as kids, childhood friends. All of them came up or the mother together. No, me personally, at the end, I'm gonna give my input for at least for 5 to 10 minutes. 10 minutes, I'm gonna give my input on this. Trust me.
The day Sack Chaser and Juvie sadly passed, and piece it all together. So it starts on October 26 in 2018. At roughly 3:30 a.m., YNWMelly, Juvie, Sack Chaser, and Bortland were all at a recording studio. They were getting late night work done for YNWMelly's new project, and that was until their session was over. Once they were finished, they hopped inside of their Jeep and started heading home. The driver of the vehicle being Cortland Henry, otherwise known as YNW Bortland, had YNWMelly sitting directly behind him. Now YNW Bortland ended up driving on a back road home. This was to skip early morning traffic. Now while law enforcement doesn't know exactly what happened inside of the vehicle, the theory is the vehicle was pulled over to the side of the road and a distraction was made to catch YNW Juvie and YNW Sack Chaser off guard. While they were distracted, that's when YNWMelly did the act towards them in the vehicle. After it was all said and done, the Jeep was allegedly brought into a side parking lot where nobody was in sight and nobody could hear a firearm being used. That would be where YNWMelly and YNW Bortland allegedly roughed up the vehicle to make it appear as if a drive-by happened. That would be Melly and Bortland's excuse for this entire thing happening when they finally bring Sack Chaser and Juvie to the hospital. Now right there, that could explain why it took 40 minutes to get Juvie and Sack Chaser medical attention, and when you add in all of the evidence that I shared earlier in the video, it's starting to look very concerning for YNWMelly. And you have to remember as well, they were on a
Yo, listen, I believe me personally, I believe by dealing with cases and legal system, like Melly and his lawyers took a plea deal. Because remember, this is down in Florida State, down in Florida. If he didn't take a plea deal, take no deal, he could have gone straight for the death penalty. I'm telling you, he could be on death row. You mean, he could be on death row and go for the death penalty. So I think his best bet is just deal with life in prison. All right, trust me, because all the evidence is against him. Even homeboy who's an ex special agent, right now he's a famous YouTuber. They call him Myron James. All right, he also have a separate channel that's called Feathered, and he did a good breakdown on this because he was part of because his old job, his former career was based on being a special agent for the government, like drug bugs, drug raid, trafficking, all that stuff, whatever. So he break it down nicely on this, and on all the evidence is against him. It's against Melly. Yeah, I'm sorry. Melly's my boy, but all the evidence is against him, big time.
back road home. This means there was no street cameras, not really any other vehicles driving by, so there was no witnesses. But let me know what you guys think of it down below in the comments.
All right, me too. Young guy, like I say, I'm new in the block. I'm coming through on the YouTube street. Let me know what you think about this. Me, like I said, man, my point of view, whatever. First and foremost, the evidence against him, big time, whatever. And number two, they grew up as kids, man, boys, you know what I mean? And then they became famous. But in the group, honestly speaking, everyone know YNWMelly is the one who had the most skills, had the most talent. So I believe, me personally, I mean, that for first and foremost, as far as splitting all the money, splitting all the money and the royalties, that's you don't be splitting all his funds and all his cash income, all his cash income coming from his fame and his music and song, and split up amongst four guys. Four of them, whatever. That's one. Two, because part of a satanic conspiracy, as part of a satanic ritual. To get on a high plateau in the industry. That's two. You know what I mean? That's two of all. And three, 3, I believe, like I say, 3, I believe that it was based on it, it was a violation amongst them. I mean, it been a violation that he allegedly, rumors been going around that YNW Sachesa had disrespect YNWMelly mom or stole from his mom, his mother. So they had some internal beef. You know what I mean? So that's one reason why too. Those are the 4 reasons. First, like I say, he didn't want to be splitting money 4 ways. And also get like we call like attention, grievances and tension. I mean, they become much more famous and more popular and famous. And 3, like I say, like a 2, like I say, 3, it might be based on ritual. I mean, like a conspiracy ritual, all right, sacrifice and rituals, whatever. And 4 is based on an internal beef. And and finally, I believe, me personally, also too, I believe he kind of find his guyism being a burden to him. I mean, who knows? The record label might have talked to him separately. Said, "Yo, you know what? It's best for you to go on your own because you got the skills, you get the talent, you're talented. You don't want to carry all the voices, all the lyrics, and all the spitting behind the boot. Because them other guys can't sing. Them other dudes, them other guys don't have no talents like Melly. All right, so them other dudes, they more like became more like flunkies or lackeys. I'm gonna be honest. Tachesa did a song. Him and Melly did a song together. I try to remember it, but I like it. But he's not talented. He none of them is talented like Melly. As far as spitting and singing, no, he's the only one. So he pretty much was carrying the load. I mean, for the group, he was carrying all the weight and the load for the group. And who knows, the record label might have put him off the side. Say, listen, man, yo, your guys is kind of dead weight to you. They're more dead weight. So you know what? You better off to branch off on your own, man, or just you and your boy, whatever. I mean, you better off to branch off on your own because you got to do something is not carrying weight behind you. But they, but they living, of your fame and fortune. That's my final um, speculation. I'm telling you. All right. So tell me down below what you think about it. Tell me if I'm right or you feel the same way or you feel kind of different. Comment, like, and subscribe. Okay. Emperor Lou, stop playing with me. All right. Stop playing. I'm out of here. I'm out of here, baby.